At some point in time, a 20-inch bar becomes ridiculous. Hey, glad to have y'all there. Be sure and hit that like button. Appreciate you guys being in here. That's for sure. Who all we got? Hey, Michael S. Super Fan Plywood. Hi, Janice. What's going on? Meziel, the Electric Wheeler. Hey, what's up, buddy? All right, anyway, y'all hit the like button. And recording the crow. For the crows. Recording the crow for the crows. Yeah, that's all right, right? 20-inch bar, and then you pull this one out. It's like, hey, he got his little brother. You know, I mean, hey, whatever, right? All right, you'll have that, right? Come alive. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a good day. What we got going here? Let's see what we got. Heck yeah, 36 likes. Hit the like button. Appreciate y'all being here. Hey, Heidi Shoop, what's going on? Glad to see you. All right, let's dig this baby out some more. We'll start cutting down the face and cut down the bill a little bit. Material to draw a crow. I mean, the darndest thing happened. You know, I'm looking through here, looking at pictures, and when you know, it's a picture of my mother-in-law. I'd have never guessed that. Would you have guessed it? There she is. All right, anyway. All right, let's set this over to the side. Now we know. It scared me to death. I was like, oh my God. She's in with the crow. So, I mean, it shouldn't be no shock, right? For now, and why? Because I get nervous about cutting that thing down. I may even sand it down at some point. But that said, y'all hit the like. We're up to 43 already. Hey, awesome, man. Heck yeah. 10 minutes. Hit the like button. We appreciate y'all being here. It's like they have a unibrow all the way across their face. If you can imagine a big brow all the way across, that's what they look like. It's the weirdest thing. Well, I mean, it's not weird, you know, it's just how they're made. You sure, and I didn't want to get too carried away. But he's too wide. I mean, he looks like a crow just got done eating a whole half a side of beef. I don't know. A little fat. Chainsaw miracle diet. Be proud of the sculpture I'm making of her, don't you? No, I don't think she would. I think she'd be mad and offended. Digging it out, and but you can see it. I mean, the beak, I'll take quite a bit more out of the corner here, the beak, narrow it down. I just don't want to take that much height off at a time, and it's just easy to chip it off. You know, don't take the chance, all right? That said, if you have not hit the like button yet, what are you waiting for? Woohoo! taking it down a little at a time. It's simple. I don't want to screw it up. So the way I want to do him is the wings come down and then there's a little bit of a space and then the tail. And that's what I'm shooting for. It just gives him a little bit more life, I think, than just making a straight tail. Like if you tried to make the bird straight out like that. Plus he'd have been a lot smaller. So anyway, let's dig the tail out. Dig that piece off, cut the shape out, and then cut some more out of the bottom from underneath that. That was a big saw, wasn't it? Yeah. Sounds like a marching band. Wonder why I use that for a hammer? I don't know. I mean, Just something about using a chainsaw as a hammer just don't make any sense, does it? All right, let's see what we got here. Heck yeah, we up to 88 likes. Appreciate you guys being in here. Be sure to hit that like button. It's looking more and more like a crow and less like a duck every day, right? All right, let's do it. Clean him up a little bit. So the tail's bigger on that side, and I wanted it to have a little bulk, you know. Take that down some. I'm just looking, so I'm gonna make it taper down to the end. So, looks like if I start here, do that. That's probably, yeah, let's do that. Just because I'm going to cut detail in there and I don't want nothing to chip off and crack. But that's it. So I'll start digging out some body, quite a bit of that away. And I want to leave room for legs, or at least feet. I'm not sure if I'm going to have him stand. Of course, that's more difficult, but or just kind of have it speed up like that. You know, I don't know. We'll see how it comes out. But a little bit at a time. Confucius say guy who used chainsaw for hammer have dull chain. I don't know. All right. Not that one. That's a picture of my mother-in-law. Self-portrait. Okay, anyway. So, kind of see the body. That's what I'm kind of looking at, trying to figure this out. Hey, 111 likes, 112. That's what I'm kind of looking at, trying to get that general shape. Now, I'm not trying to make his head so flat. But yeah, I guess I kind of am. It sure looks like it anyway, doesn't it? But, you know, make sure that that all comes down to kind of something at the feet are here. But I'm kind of thinking more and more I think about it. I do at least want to give him some legs and some feet. And that'll take time, but a little bit at a time. I think I start working the wing out now. There's a little package here, and then it goes around. Okay. Just trying to get a general shape. Kind of looks more like a millennial falcon. And I guess the reason I say he looks like a millennial falcon is because the tree was 100 years old. It's a gigantic yellow pine. And I mean, this thing looked like a maple tree. It had so many limbs coming out of it. It was insane how many limbs come off. I've never seen a pine of any sort that looked like that. And anyway, big yellow pine. This thing, old tree. That's like a dig the feet out. So this side here, I might as well take a big chunk off of this now because that's going to save the crows down here. And I might as well just do it. that's a nice piece of wood. If anybody'd like me to ship it to you, it'd be $29.95 plus shipping and handling. All right, just kidding. No, I mean, I'll ship it to you. I'll put it on a pallet, put it on the XPO or Old Dominion, it'd be $300 to get to kind of dig a leg out, and you know, it'll be somewhere in here. This leg's gonna be some feet, or I don't know. I don't know how detailed I'm gonna get with the feet, but I'm gonna give it some legs, dig these bottoms out a little bit. Just try and challenge myself, make it cool, you know? I mean, that's ain't nothing wrong with that, right? Anyway, hit the like if you haven't. I don't know why you wouldn't. I don't know why this even hit my mind at all. I guess I'm just a squirrel. But while I'm carving that, just a song. That's what these chainsaws sound like. They sound like that guy singing. meets the hairy part of the legs and a little bit of the knuckle I started, and I want to go back to the wings for a while. What happens is I get bored, and so I got to go do something else. So let's work on our wings a little bit, and we'll look at our picture again, and just kind of get an idea for all the, you know, I don't know. I started to call it foliage, like it was leaves or something. But anyway, there you go. That's what we're looking at. And I just kind of have a thought process about this. For one thing I noticed is he has a lot more shoulder than what I gave him. And so I think I kind of need to work on that a little bit right here. Take some of this out, curve this a little bit, and then go on the other side. Before I do anything else, let me do that. Kind of think about it. Hey, and don't forget, I don't want y'all to be making fun of her. Don't be making fun of her, okay? Don't be making fun of the mother-in-law. Okay, all right, let's go. Be nice. If you ain't got nothing nice to say what you gotta say. Okay, let's go. Studly bird shape, you know, he's like, put your head on my shoulder. You know what I mean? He's a stud. All right, stud. Side. Okay. Yeah, you know, I mean, this is like the Dark Knight. It's almost like he's got an extra jacket on or something. I guess I really didn't see this baby. Turn around, and we'll probably end up taking some more out of this corner. And in fact, I know we will, so let's just do it now. I noticed do a lot of birds' feathers overlap. The crows don't. They don't overlap. So they overlap down here, but it's way on down here. Whereas a lot of other birds, they kind of close them in. They typically, not to say that they don't necessarily, but just every picture I've seen is like, man, it's way down here before they actually came together. So we're going to cut I'm going to have to be real careful with that. I might, when I go to cutting feathers in, this is going to keep chipping right here, so I'm going to have to be really careful with that. And I might even end up having to cut a piece out and put a piece in. I don't know. So, that said, I want to do detail. So let's do one wing at a time. I'll turn around. But he's looking pretty good though. Other than he's got that bad spot, and it makes me wonder if I'm going to run into that down here. I'm going to have to be real careful with him. But that's life. Sometimes you run into, I had, the other day I was doing that big bear, I think it was, that was last Tuesday. And he had a real bad spot in the back of his leg. I mean, it was bad. But that said, we made it work. Okay, so, they're layers. See how they're layers? They're layers, yeah. Just kind of trying to get the idea of the layers in my head. So, I don't have much to work with. That's the other issue. Okay. Not in my head anyway. All right, let me get a pencil out. I think that'll make some sense. Once I get it this way. Yeah, they're all different. That's the other thing too. When you kind of make up wings, you think the wings, all the bird wings would all be really similar in how the feathers lay out, but they're not. There was quite a bit of them are different. try to make that on the other side exactly like that. Maybe that pencil. But before I get too carried away, just cutting that up, put lines in it and stuff. See if I can somewhat duplicate it. Let's see, that's right there. Okay. But I don't have what happens when you get old? You can't see. I can't see. I can't see. So I gotta cut that one first there, get some shape in this thing too. Alright, see what you got. These feathers are like sideways, and these are kind of straight lines with curves in them. And I'm going to cut them out. And I don't know about this though. I'm probably going to end up doing the down here where I know there's some bad spot in there. It'll chip too easy with the chainsaw, so I think I end up doing it by burr. That's what I'm thinking, just to keep that from breaking off. Okay, all right, let's make some detail on this baby. Hope y'all are having a good time. What are we up to? 236 likes? Heck yeah. If you haven't hit the like button already, be sure and hit it. Alright. No, not too bad. Got a lot of detail on it that way, you know. So let's see. Yeah, what do you guys think? Can you see that all right? Yeah, that's not too bad. Hey, 257 likes. That's awesome. What's going on, Kevin Dorica? Michael S. Superfan. Matthew Creation Dust 777. The best chainsaw carver in the world. 52. What's going on? Glad to see you. Ray, what's going on? OH. All right. Who else we got there that I can't see? Yeah, it's Matthew. Yeah. Hey, Cheech. What do you know, buddy? Heck yeah. Glad to see you. All right. Let's get on it. I'm going to go ahead and work that tail out a little bit. Shape it. I kind of like this funky look, you know. I mean, they're going to be kind of funky anyway, so I think I'm going to leave it like that. And yeah, I think I'm going to keep that look. Turn that around. Wings are done as far as they're going to get. I'm probably going to take some Mod Podge and put it up. I don't know. We'll see. Play with that a little bit. But I kind of got the hairy part of the feet. And I'm thinking about bringing the legs down into here just a little bit. I don't get too carried away with the toes. I mean, you know, you couldn't really work yourself out. But another thing I'm noticing is really I ought to cut more of that out of here. It's just going to make it look better if I do. Anyway, I hope y'all having a pretty good time. Let's see what we got here. 267. That's pretty good. Been on here 64 minutes. Hey, baby kisses. Mandy Lee Rain. What's going on? Glad to see you. Dad. Heck yeah. All right, guys. Awesome. Okay, let's put some more fuel in the other saw. And I'm going to dig those legs out a little bit. I'm going to put them off to the side. And go the other one for a while. Be nice to them. You know, I got two of these and a little top handle, and I might as well give them a break, right? I mean, you know, if you got some, you got electric there, just do this with a carbon bar on it. Right now I got 4 saws that have carbon bars on them. And I'll still one coming. They still have an 8-inch bar. Still have that part full. I'm glad there ain't no environmentalists around here. They do that all the time. All the time. I mean, all the time, and I would deserve it. Okay, this one here is always. There's always a basket case for the fire. Hey, hey, your mama. Path and say, you know, he's in concrete. You know, his legs got stuck in concrete. He can't fly away no more. But that just wouldn't seem right, would it? on them feet without burrs. You know, because if I do, I'm going to mess them up. You know what I mean? They already kind of, I don't know. It's kind of strange how he's sitting there and his legs are, but you know, I don't know. Maybe he's been out, he's taking a dump. I don't know. I mean, you know, you can't define everything, right? Let's see what we got. 270. Heck yeah, 71 minutes. All right. Who else we got in here? Hey, June. What's going on? Hey, David, Matthew, Kevin, Dorica, baby kisses. Heck yeah. Glad to see y'all. All right. So the bird himself, there's some places I can go ahead and feather detail. And so I might start doing that on the head and all that. I like the shape. I think he's looking pretty good. Give my arm a break for a second, but that head detail, you know, the feathers going a certain way. I mean, that really looks like they should look. I think it's looking pretty good. Just keep working him down. I can turn him around to do the chest, actually. There we go. Turn him like that, and then do the rest of the chest like that. All the way down, and do the legs, the furry part of the legs right here too. Yeah, make him look pretty good. What are we up to? 276. That's looking pretty good. Heck yeah. All right, guys. I appreciate y'all being here and watching. All right. I think that's looking pretty good. I got a little excess piece there I need to cut off. But generally, I need to shape this round out. Other than that, I think he's looking pretty good. Everything else is going to end up being burr work. I think these, yeah, it's not bad. By the time I put that eye in, it's not too bad. I don't want to give him too much of a brow. He end up looking like an eagle. Heck yeah. That's what I think. I don't know what y'all think, but, you know, foosball's the devil. How about that? Okay, let's take one more good look at this thing. Hope you guys are doing good. 279 likes. Heck yeah, we'll take that. Where we at here? Hey, what's going on? We got 52, Matthew, Michael S. Hey, Wowie, what's going on, buddy? Appreciate it. Okay, let's see. Kevin, heck yeah. There we go. So we check him out. And there's some spunky areas in this log. And I didn't know, you know what I mean? And so just going to deal with it. But from a crow perspective, hey, Steve, how you doing, man? Appreciate that. Heck yeah, buddy. Um, but the bill, I'll have to cut it down more and shape it with a angle grinder, because then I get a chainsaw carved anymore. I don't want to chip it off. You know, the bill gets too small, but cut that thing down quite a bit more. And, you know, I mean, he could have passed for an eagle, you know, and not too bad. But by the time I cut that crow down, or cut that beak out, it needs to be more pointy than that, quite a bit more pointy, and thinned out. And I ain't going to do it by hand. I'm taking too much chance. Hey, Michael, thanks for that. Hey, what's going on, Nene and Pops? Heck yeah, appreciate that. But yeah, it is. Well, it is going to be a crow croissant, but it's as far as I could get it with the chainsaw. Before I sand the rest of it down to smooth, shorten the bill out and all that, and you'll be able to tell a little better. But yeah, it's a crow. That's what it is. It's a crow. It's a duck. How about that? It's a duck crow. It's a duck crow. It doesn't look like a crow to you. Okay, that's all right. That's fine. You know, maybe it ain't. I don't know. Maybe it's an eagle crow. Maybe it's an eagle grouse. Maybe it's a duck with a pointy beak. Heck, I don't know. You know, but it is what it is. I think it looks great. That's fine. By the time I get done sanding him, you see the picture of him, cut that beak down. But I can tell you, like right here, I'm not going to try to point this out anymore with the saw. I'm just, you know, what's going to end up happening if I do, I'll chip that dude off. But I suppose that don't look like Brutus Buckeye either. I don't know. But he probably didn't know who that is. So that's okay. Hey, John. Yeah, it's a bear bird. You got it right, buddy. It's a bear bird, John. Heck yeah. All right. Heck yeah. Hey, I appreciate that, Steve. That's pretty nice, man. I'm learning. I'm coming up on about 3 years of dabbling in this, you know, off and on kind of side job. But it's pretty intense side job at this point. I don't know. Yeah, I guess you could have probably went with a hawk too, because of the bill. Still needs cut down quite a bit. But by the time I take a lot out of there, take a little bit off top, and take quite a bit off there, I'm just afraid to do it with the saw without chipping the beak off and ended up with nothing. You know what I mean? Anyway, at least I'm honest, right? Hey, you just never know. But that said, hey guys, I appreciate y'all being here tonight and watching this. Two things. Creation Dust 777, 2 p.m. Wowie's Workshop, 5 p.m. You guys got to check them out. At least that's my time, Eastern Standard Time. Wowie's clear on the other side of the country, so I think he's like 3 or 4 hours behind me. So I'm not honestly sure, but he's on here 5 o'clock of my time, so Eastern Standard Time. How about that? Wowie, if you're still in there, you can say what time it is on your time zone. But that said, Creation Dust 777 be on 2, Wowie at 5. It seems like somebody else is starting to do that. Yeah, I appreciate that, Marcel. I appreciate you checking in, man. But yeah, check them out tomorrow, and I appreciate y'all watching me tonight. And we will catch you guys back live Friday night. That's the plan. Friday night about 9:30, 10 o'clock. That's what we'll be shooting for. It'll probably be flex shaft carving, I would say. All right, guys, I'm getting out of here. Come back when you can stay later, you schmucks.